Race fans, this episode of Getting Up to Speed, a special one. He was just recently crowned Speed Week Northwest North champion. It's Colton Heath out of Marysville, Washington, and he's our next guest after these messages. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. Dave's Home Supplies specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Well, with me on the phone, he's the newly minted Speed Week Northwest champion. Well, Speed Week Northwest North, because there'll be a southern one starting soon. It's Colton Heath in the 33 Motorsports fielded entry. Colton, first of all, congratulations. That's an amazing accomplishment to achieve.
Yeah, thank you. It was, it was the first time we did the I think I've ever done the Northwest Speed Week deal, and grinded it out and was able to come out up top. Had a couple things go our way and ran good at times and ran good enough at times. So it worked out.
Yeah, I was really gonna say, like, you've ran like maybe some onesies and twosies, like maybe if it was a weekend at Cottage Grove, or like last year ran just the Summer Nationals, won the first night of the Summer Nationals last year.
Yeah, it's always been let's do it, and either work or something. So I kind of came up. It's like, man, I just can't quite get out for a week, and with not as much 360 racing up here as there once was, it was like, all right, for sure we're doing this because we want to try and run 30, 40 shows a year, and to make that happen, you gotta do it. So it worked out this year.
No doubt. Absolutely it did. As you started the week off good at Grays Harbor with a third place finish. And then the second night, you finished 8th. I mean, you were really good for all the nights. You didn't finish outside the top 10 once. But, everything, it kind of started on a good note. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that was like, the first night out running third at Grays Harbor was good. The second night we didn't do as good, but still up front enough, kind of put ourselves in position every night to at least run top 10, Like there was nights where, things were going good and felt like we should have ran better. And then there were some nights where it was like, man, we salvaged an 8th. That was good.
Sure. Yeah. I was going to say Monday at Sunset Speedway Park in Banks, you guys finished 9th, but that was your first time there, correct? Racing?
Yeah. And we did the right things to put ourselves in position. We were in the, qualified good, put ourselves in the dash, and, luckily or unluckily, we drew the bag, ran 6th, and just probably not the experience of being there, thinking that I could go, be a hero and try and get around some guys on the top, made us go from, I think, like 6th to 15th, I think, on the first lap.
Sure.
And, and then it's, it's definitely tough to go at Banks to go from the back to the front. So it, clawed our way back up to at least get into 9th and salvage a night out of it.
Well, and then Cottage Grove for 2 straight nights, a 3rd place on Tuesday and a 7th place on Wednesday, and a Wednesday race that went nonstop too.
Yeah. I felt really good at Cottage Grove all year, winning the Marvin and just kind of running up front every time we were there, and I don't know what it was it was a little more juiced up on Tuesday, and then we got our car good to go. I think we went like 10th to 3rd. So that was good, but then it was kind of different the next day. And I just think I didn't get back to where I needed to be, to where it was kind of, I would say, more of a normal Cottage Grove night for us. And, just didn't get, as much speed out of it as we would have liked, but still salvaged the 7th and was able to keep going.
Well, and the weekend we just got over with the Bob's Burgers and Brew Summer Nationals. I almost keep saying 360 Nationals because I think that's the way I grew up hearing it. But
yeah, it's always the 360 show to me.
But like last year, you won the opening night, and then to cap things off with everything, I watched the stream both nights. You guys were on Kill Friday, and then the Saturday night program. the last night for Speed Week, it was some stop and goes. It was an interesting race.
Yeah. We had a little bit of an unfortunate, battling and racing hard. Kind of got into the car and pretty much thought my night was over. Thought I was going over. Was able to save it, keep going, and couldn't quite figure out what was exactly wrong. And we had that red about halfway through, and that's when the crew told me that I didn't have a right rear radius rod. So it was okay, kind of maybe change the game plan up here, just try and salvage a finish to be okay, and try and win the Speed Week deal. Obviously the lucky part of the deal was for us was Henry crashing out. The unlucky part for him was Henry crashing out. So it made it to where we needed to stay out there, and it was also a scheduled Speedway points deal too, and kind of all the things we kind of race for throughout the year and the week, and it just made it a little difficult, but we were still I just kind of abandoned the top part of it with no radius rod and started running the bottom, and was actually making good speed, kind of staying right with Chase Johnson, who was fourth, and salvaged a fifth place finish out of it.
Well, and Friday night, I believe, and don't quote me, you were saying you were too old and out of shape to be running the curb like you were on Friday.
Yeah. It's when I was 18, 19, that was my dream, was just to go out and beat a curb down that big. Nowadays it's just kind of how I have my race car and kind of how we kind of do things. It wasn't normally our forte, but we actually rolled it pretty good and I think we ran 29 straight laps on it, and it was a lot of fun, kind of reminded me of my old days and kind of old Skagit stuff. And it was good.
15 starts this year. You've yet to finish outside the top 10 in the features that you've made. 11 top fives, 2 wins. Obviously, the prelim to the Summer Nationals on Friday, and you mentioned it, the Marvin Smith Memorial Grove Classic, which that's both are big deals. Winning the Marvin, that's one of the biggest races in the state of Oregon that you could win.
Yeah. I think I've gone down to the Marvin 7-8 years to try and, be good and run up front, and we were really good that weekend, all around. The first night I felt like I should have won that night too on the prelim night, but just one bad decision and Tanner got me and ran second. But then the next night I think we had the car even a little bit better and was able to, I think I went fourth to second in the dash, which was a real big help as far as, being able to get on the initial start, get to the lead, kind of control the race, kind of run my own pace and do the things I needed to do to be able to pull it off.
Well, and you guys had went down there earlier in the year too, in late April, and got some great finishes there, if I'm not mistaken, a couple top fives at the Spring Fling to really kind of just, I believe that was just the start of your guys' 2023 season.
Yeah. I think we initially kind of set out, we were going to go to Chico and stuff at the beginning of the year. I think it was the first week of March, but rain and things just kind of never worked out. And it was kind of weird. My first race was the end of April, and it started off good. And really we've been running, really all year, we felt like we've been good enough to win races, and had the speed to do it. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. We always want to win every race, but running second, third, fourth, fifth a lot, we're always in contention, always in a, position to win the race. So that's for me, that's all I can really ask for. Now it's just, there's definitely times I just got to get my job done a little bit better.
Well, and speaking of jobs, you're so heavily involved with Triple X Raceco, Triple X Chassis that for you racing is a 24 hour, 7 days a week deal.
Yeah. It's, starting tomorrow, I'll be back on the grind, welding and fabbing stuff and getting stuff ready to go out to customers. And so it's pretty much racing 24/7 for us. There's not a whole lot of not racing stuff going on, especially when it's
Sure.
your job during the week. It's, some days you're like, man, it'd be nice to get a boat and go sit on the lake or something, but, at the same time, you take a couple days off from racing and, ready to go back at it again, ready to work on new things and try and develop new things and make our cars better and always just working towards that.
Yes, no doubt. And I'm in the same, no pun intended, the same boat, whichever boat we're getting and taking. but no, seriously, it's entering data. It's reading sprint car magazines or sprint car books. It's watching races. It's an all-consuming thing, and you really find out who your friends are, because if they're still talking to you, they must like racing just as much as you do.
Yeah, yeah. It's a 24/7 thing here. Today got up from racing last night, get up, start washing, getting everything cleaned up, get ready for the next week. Got the TV in the garage. You just play, I think today I started the morning off with watching Knoxville, watching the All-Stars on the 360s, just kind of, knowing what's going on, knowing how some of our guys that run our cars are doing. So, when you talk to them, you don't sound like don't know what's going on. You kind of feel like you're, as much as you could be there as much as you can. So
sure. Oh, yeah. I heard you were fast. I didn't watch it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's and there's a lot of guys that, oh, hey, did you see that, on Saturday? Oh, yeah, I saw it, whether I have to watch it on Sunday or Monday or, whatever day I have to watch it. But I try and always get caught back up and know what happened over the weekend.
Well, it was really cool that because I'd never been to Dirt Cup before, but, you interacting with essentially your clients, your customers, and kind of that boots on the ground tech support, not only for all your knowledge with the race cars, but also Skagit Speedway, a racetrack that you're a 3-time 360 champion at.
Yep. Yeah. It's, for a long time, I felt like I was still a young kid. Now I've been doing this, I think 15, 16 years running sprint cars around Skagit. And now I feel like the old guy, and, it's definitely, and there's definitely younger kids racing now, and it makes you feel even older. I'm only 34, but I still feel like I'm like the old veteran guy out there nowadays. I know Solwald and stuff like that around there. He's got a little bit on me, but it's definitely like, I feel like I'm one of the old guys now.
Yeah. Hey, wisdom. You're one of the wise ones.
Yeah. I think that helps me a little bit on some aspect of it. We're not the richest team, and we couldn't do race a lot if we tore up a lot of stuff and hurt a lot of things and stuff like that. And running consistently top 10 helps make it to where it doesn't hurt as bad at the end of the day. We all know we're never going to make money racing, but if you can pad it and make it not so bad, it helps keep the team go along and just kind of know when, I know when I have a 7th place car, and I know when I have a winning car. It's just some nights you just gotta suck it up. Yeah. And you also have the aspect of you're also a husband and a father. There's that aspect too of, you can't go, full sin, no F's given kind of deal all the time. Yep. Yeah. It's it definitely hurts more now crashing nowadays too than it was when I was 18 as well. So it's definitely a thing that, you just kind of learned over time, and you try and do the best you can with what you got.
Well, you mentioned your team, 33 Motorsports. They've been with you for a long time in one sort of form or the other, and you've got great support from them. I guess, first of all, how did that whole partnership link up?
It was Jamie Barnes drove for them at the time. They were strictly basically a 410 team, kind of back in the old version of 410s at Skagit Speedway.
Okay.
And Jamie Barnes.
That's when it was Law Motorsports, right? Yeah,
it was Law Motorsports, and it was Kelly Welch and Alan Larson owned the car together, and had Jamie driving, and at the time Jamie had the opportunity to go drive for Roger Henderson, and it was kind of one of those deals where he wanted to go do that because they were probably going to be able to race a little bit more than what Law Motorsports at the time was going to be able to do. So he was out the seat, and they came and asked me if I would drive it, and I was like, oh yeah, and I think I was maybe 21 at the time or something. So at that time, you had the aspirations of, you're going to be an outlaw. You're the man,
Yeah.
And
hired guy.
And big hired guy, So it and at the time I was owning my own team, trying to run 410s at Skagit, doing my own thing, and I blew my motor. I think it was like right after Dirt Cup, and it was just like, oh man, now I'm broke. I can't do it, So let's do this, and I think that was 2011. So what is that? 12 years now I've been racing for them.
Sure. I was going to say, like, you were coming down with them with ASCS Northwest, and I think it was in the fall because Skagit was wrapping up or was off.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so it was kind of like we were a 410 team, and then and then we had a guy out of Pennsylvania that was just a customer slash good relation, Jerry Parrish. He's actually one of the owners of Lincoln Speedway now, but it's like the relationships of, that you build doing the race car thing week in, week out. He was like, we ain't ever going to run this 360 motor. Like, you should just run it. And it was just an old 360 that they had laying in the corner, and they sent it out to us, and that kind of got us 360 and 410 racing and able to do a lot more. And then the 410 thing kind of just started dwindling out. So we kind of sold off all the 410s and that, probably for the first 5 to 6 years of racing for them, we just had one 360 motor, and it was, this is what we got. And this is, what, just trying to take care of it. And slowly we've progressed and built nicer cars. I think every year we kind of build a little bit nicer of a piece. We, our motor program, we've built it up to where we have 2 really good engines now. And, it's just kind of, it's been it's like a drawn out 12 years of kind of where we are now, to where I feel like our car and our motors could go compete really anywhere in the country and be successful, other than, the driver might not always be.
Well, you guys had a chance, right? Because you guys did the ASCS Speed Week in COVID year 2020, right?
Yeah. During 2020, we were doing like the Thursday nights at Skagit,
mm-hmm.
and then there was a time where it was like, hey man, we don't race for a 4 week period, and it was right during the Knoxville 360 Nationals, and at the same time we were able to. We actually went there a week before, ran a weekly show at Knoxville, then ran the 360 show at Knoxville, then went and ran the ASCS show at Oskaloosa, and then it kind of, after that day, it started our speed week of, I think it was 6 races in like 6 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And, and we went to a bunch of tracks that, I've watched on TV and never been to, and was able to go and do that. And I think we ran the second or third, I think, it was me, Bergman, and Hickel all were the top 3, sure. All Washington guys.
Yeah, Hickel won it. Bergman was the runner-up.
Yeah,
you were third. Yes, no, and then you guys came back, and I know you guys were at that 3-day stint in Great Falls that they had Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
and you won. I know you won one. You won the first 2 nights, right?
Yeah, I won the first 2 nights of that deal, and that, it was kind of weird. I went from, mostly Skagit, say Grays Harbor, Cottage Grove, for kind of like the 3 tracks that I was really running the most. We try and go to Trophy Cup every year to run Tulare once a year and stuff like that, but never been really east anywhere. And really, it was kind of when we went and did that, I felt like we were really good. We won one of the nights of Speed Week. We ran on the podium, I think, a couple times. We were quick time a lot because it was a qualifying format. And, we just every night put ourselves in good positions to do good. So that was a lot of fun. Knoxville was fun to go race around Knoxville. Didn't do good, but like, it was fun to go be around and do do Oskaloosa. We definitely could work on our big track program a little bit better, but and then, went to Great Falls. I think it was like a month after that or something. Never been there. And we first 2 nights out, we won. And I think the first night I won going the slowest I think I've ever gone around the bottom of a racetrack. But was able to pick off JJ, was able to just kind of maintain and do that around the bottom. So that was really good. And the third night just missed it a little bit. And I think we ran like 7th or something, I think, that night. So,
well, it was wild because it was like gale force winds. And I learned out what exactly it was. It was Cam Smith's, or no, it was one of the Getz brothers' bumpers, or Cam Smith's bumpers, that went up towards the crowd and arced a power line that shut the power off for some of the lights. And then all the wildfires started. Not because of that, but west of the Cascades and everything. It was like it was a Book of Apocalypse kind of stuff there. For
it was
24 hours.
It was a wild ride just to get back home. I think it's like about 12 to 13 hours or something like that normally, but I think it took us like 20 to 21 hours.
Yeah,
we got stuck in that like a sandstorm and somewhere in eastern Washington. I can't remember where it was. And
they had I-90 shut down because of low visibility.
You know, it was like Ritzville or something like that. We were we just like sat there for like 5 hours. Luckily I had the motorhome and,
Sure.
and, you know, stuff like that. So it wasn't so bad, but still wasn't was an eventful way home. I think we even hit snow in the pass and like, it was it was like, man, it's like the middle of August. Like, it was Labor Day weekend. So August, first part of September. It's like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. We had Stephanie and we had Regina with us. Unfortunately, she was just absolutely perfect and wasn't crying or anything. And man, it's
that's good.
Unforgettable, but don't want to experience again.
Yep. Yeah, I'd rather just be a story than happen again.
Exactly. Hey, something I forgot to tell you that was super cool, and I'd have to double check this because I don't. Obviously, I'm unprepared. I don't have this committed to memory. But you're the third guy ever in Summer Nationals history to win a prelim more than once. There's only two other guys, Roger Crockett and Josh DeWitt, and DeWitt was around like 05, 06 when he did it. You and him are the only guys to do it back to back. So now next year you got to go for history and make it 3 in a row.
Got to three-peat it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where, you know, winning that thing. It's like, man, you know, I'm tired of winning the Friday night. I need to win the Saturday night one of these times. But
yeah, exactly. And we're talking going all the way back to when it started in the early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know why, but it's always been one of those races where, you know, and our day didn't start that good on Friday. You know, we ran speed week the first 6 nights and had the day off and thought we were all ready. And then had a bunch of little things kind of come up right as we were loading, getting ready to go. We got to the racetrack super late, you know, and all these things. And then it's like, for whatever reason, that Friday night of the 360 show just always works out good for me.
Yeah, it's Friday nights is Colton night. So.
Yeah.
But 2023, anything, obviously committed to Skagit for the rest of the year, but anything outside of that you guys are going to try and hit, going to try and make it down to Trophy Cup, drop down there?
Yeah, plans to go to Trophy Cup. We're gonna at the end of August there go to Billings for I don't even know which race it is, but it pays good.
The Ostermiller, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
So we're going to do that. And then at the same time, they're talking about having the Labor Day weekend at Great Falls again. So, and trying to do that and pay really good. So we might hang out and just live in Montana for a week and hit both those shows. And, you know, there's the Outlaw show here, which is kind of a bummer for me as far as work-wise, you know, that it's a chance to go see some guys that I don't get to see that often. But at the same time, it's you know, if I can race and there's a place to race and, you know, I might as well, you know, and I'll be driving that way. So, as of right now, those would be like the next thing we would do. I think we race Skagit next weekend and then we're off for a little bit. We might hit an Elma show or something like that. But as of right now, we're just kind of planning on, you know, I think we took the points lead this weekend for Skagit. So we're going to try and hit that hard because that pays really good and finish out the year with that, do the Montana thing, do Trophy Cup. And if there's something else that kind of springs up or something that we, you know, weekend off that we have, that there's something else going on, try and hit that as well.
That's super cool. That's absolutely super cool. And going back to you as, you know, the work side of things, as you bring it up again, because the Outlaws, to see some of your clients on the big stage and winning, there's got to be such a sense of pride in that.
Yeah. You know, when we, I think our first Outlaw team we got was the Shark Racing cars, and we went back to, it was the first year they were on the road, and we were actually in Pennsylvania. We went to their shop and talked to them, and it was like, you know, we really like to get you guys on our stuff, thinking it was probably the best opportunity to get someone in our car to start running the Outlaws, to kind of showcase it all the way across the country, all the way around, you know, in every state basically they almost run in. So it, you know, and a lot of people laughed at them and didn't think it was going to happen. And we felt that, you know, if we could get in there and help them out car wise and kind of get them, you know, on a little bit more of a regular car program, you know, that they would succeed. And then, yeah, I think it's 10 years later, he wins $1 million. So it was, it's cool to see. And now we have a couple others, you know, like Bill Rose and Brock Zierfoss, that are full-time on the Outlaws running, and lots of PA and Ohio guys that run good when the Outlaws are around, and Knoxville guys, and just kind of slowly built it up. But a lot of our success has been from the Shark cars, showing, guys, especially when it's a situation where guys don't believe that they should be winning, and then they win in our car, makes it even better for us, right? Because well, they got to be, the cars have to be good if they're winning in them, type thing. That was a mindset, I would say 7, 8, 9 years ago. Nowadays, everybody knows that Logan or Jacob could go show up at any racetrack and could potentially win, and it's been awesome being part of their success of it, and there's a lot of pride in the fact that our cars are good, can compete at almost any level and stuff like that. And, now try and win, hopefully Knoxville Nationals are coming up and have some guys rolling, Logan rolls good around there. Even Jacob rolls good around there, and a couple of Knoxville regulars that go good around there. And I'll go back to that, go during the middle of the week, go to the 2 prelim nights, talk to the customers, and hopefully they have a good one.
Yeah, no doubt. I imagine it's just like the engineers, so to speak, at NASA. We've built this thing, we've assembled this ship, and, Neil Armstrong is the guy that, gets the glory, and Buzz Aldrin for landing on the moon. However, I was a part of that. I was a part of $1 million win.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely there's definitely times and years where maybe guys don't run as good in your stuff, and you start second guessing, and you want to start changing everything and try different things to see if we can make them faster. And
sure.
And there's definitely the high moments, and there's definitely low moments.
Yes, I agree. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time for doing this interview. I know that you've got all sorts of wonderful people that back this operation, as well as some great sponsors, and I just want to give you the floor for just a moment.
Yeah, well, first I got to thank Kelly and Cindy, because they've kept this good. When I went from Law Motorsports to 33 Motorsports, it's Kelly and Cindy keeping it going, keep believing in me to give me the stuff to do it. So, them, I got to thank Mount Baker Landscaping, Mount Baker Trucking, Brent Rents, Premium Services, Triple X Race Co., obviously, and Skagit Powder Coating, and CGE Garage, kind of my mom and Galen. They do a lot for us behind the scenes that really help us out, get up and down the road, and kind of just keep us going. And my wife, for living this crazy life of race car every weekend, or something race car related every weekend. And and then this year I've had my buddy Bullock and my one coworker / boss Baddock. He's been helping me, and my dad, and we've just been racing. And I feel like we're traveling a little more this year just because of the limited amount of races at Skagit. So they've been grinding it out, and just put them through a grueling week. They're all a little bit of an older crowd, so it's a little harder on them, but we survived.
Sure. Yeah, and
yeah.
Also, fun fact, your daughter and my daughter are like best friends, and they're like they're co-mud scrapers wherever they go.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun being down there this weekend. I think she was with us 5 of the days.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Hit the first 5.
Yeah, and then went home, and I think she woke up the next day wondering where she was. So
yes,
we'll have to get back down there so we can get the mud scrapers back together.
Exactly. Yeah, there was a race here because I didn't go up. I was in Cottage Grove, and my daughter Regina was, is Everly here? Is Everly dad racing? But she got to watch you guys celebrate in Victory Lane, and she was excited for you. So.
Hopefully get a few more
along.
Yeah, hopefully get a few more of those this year.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I greatly appreciate it, Colton, and I wish you the best of luck for 2023, and hopefully we get to bump into each other in person real soon.
Sounds good, Ben.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the interview, race fans. Again, be sure and hit like, subscribe, and get the latest and greatest news, whether it's getting up to speed, inside NARC, or sprint car news today. If you subscribe on the YouTube channel, it'll get you those notifications as soon as all the new episodes come out. In the meantime, everybody, have a great rest of your day, night, whatever time you're listening, and we'll be back next time with more stuff from Highside Racing Promotions.